All right, everyone. It is 8:59 Eastern, so let's go ahead and get started. So with that, we all know Patrick. We've seen him for many years on Guy in a Cube. We have learned so much from him. I know as a Power BI professional, semi-professional at least, I have learned probably more than I want to admit to that about either Patrick or Adam has taught me over the years. So with that, I give you Patrick.
Thank you so much, Kevin. And thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time out of your day to join us at the Future Data Driven Summit. It's so exciting. When John asked me to be the keynote, I was excited, I was honored, and I was humbled because to me, this is a big deal, starting off a conference and leading the conference. And when he asked me to do this, I was like, what am I going to talk about? I only have 15 minutes, and everybody knows Patrick talks a lot. What am I going to talk about? Well, if you think about what I want you to do is go on a journey with me. Go on a journey, not through space, not through time, but through data. And if you think about your organization today, you probably have data everywhere in your organization. You have data on servers running under somebody's desk. I have some data running on a machine here in my office. You probably have them in spreadsheets, CSV files, or maybe you even have a data warehouse, but it's locked up. And you probably walk through your office, your building, maybe where you're back in your office today, and you're constantly hearing knock, 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 knock. Or you're hearing boom, 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 boom. And you're trying to figure out what is that noise? Where is it coming from? Well, that's your data. It's trying to get out. You got it locked up and it can't get out, but it's probably locked up for a good reason. And we have, oh, somebody's talking, guys. We have the harsh reality is today's data realities is we don't know what data we have because like I said, it's under someone's desk running on a server. It's in a spreadsheet. It may be in a data warehouse, but it's locked up and they can't get access to it. And it's constantly banging on the doors, tapping on the doors, trying to get out. And once you find out the data that you do have, you're trying to figure out, can I trust this data? Because you just found two data sets. They have a calculation for profit in it, but the numbers aren't correct. Can you trust that data? Can I use that data to do actual reporting for my company to make better business decisions when I'm looking at profit in two different places and the numbers are way off? Maybe you can trust the data. Maybe you do know what data you have, but can people access it? And I go back to what I said at the beginning is someone is holding that data captive. And we need to find those people and let them know you need to release the data and put it in the hands so people can make faster business insights. But once they have access to it, they try to think, which tool that should we use? We have 300 tools, and then they revert back to old trusted favorite Excel. But then do we have any compliance? What's our compliance exposure? Are we exposing sensitive data? Do we have anything in place that stops us from exposing sensitive data? These are the realities of the data that we work with today. And we have to figure out how do we overcome these challenges so we can put data in the hands of the right people. This is where I'd like to introduce everyone to the Intelligent Data Platform, which includes governance, analytics, and data processing. We provide an end-to-end, and when I say we, I'm talking about Microsoft, an end-to-end,
End-to-end.
uh-oh, I hear echo, here echo, an end-to-end solution that can help you overcome all the challenges that I mentioned in the aforementioned slide. So think about it this way. You have all your data. You have all the data that you want in your organization, and we take a top-down approach. The first place you need to start is with governance. Once you have proper governance in place, then people can do proper analytics against all these operational databases that you have in your organization. And on top of that, you can use Azure Active Directory, you can integrate Microsoft Defender, Microsoft Sentinel, and all these policy controls to control the access and governance to your data. But where do you start? And that's what you may be thinking, Patrick. You want me to go on this journey with you, but where does the journey begin? It starts with governance. And I like to start with Purview. And people go, well, Purview is just a single thing, Patrick. It is absolutely not a single thing. There's 4 pillars to Purview. The very first one is that Purview is a unified map of all the data in your organization, right? Not just the data, but the relationships, and it helps to provide a more effective data governance process. That's where you start. You get that unified map, and people think, oh, it's just lineage. I can look upstream and downstream. I can see the effects of changes of my data, but it's not just that. If you're as mature as me and you've been doing this as long as me, you probably remember the term data dictionary. And I used to think about these data dictionaries. I even wrote one once and created it and I put it out. But how do people find this data dictionary and search this data dictionary? This is what Purview provides. It provides a glossary with business and technical search terms to aid data discovery. And so if I'm working in an organization and I'm not sure where data is, you go to Purview, you can do a search and you can find just about anything you want. But on top of that, it provides insights into the management of the sensitive data. So think about most organizations store, personally identifiable information like social security numbers and salary and things like that. We don't want that information exposed. We want to make sure that that data is in the right hands of the right people. And finally, if you have this data, how do I get access to it? Using Purview, I can do data sharing in real time and easily provision data access to the right person when they need that data so they can make better decisions. Now, how do we do it at Microsoft, right? We start with Purview, and then you can use any platform you want. Think about this for a second. You can use Azure SQL. I've been using SQL Server since SQL Server 7.0. Like I said, I'm mature, not old, I'm mature. And if you don't want to use SQL, you can use Azure Cosmos DB, or you can use PostgreSQL. If none of those work, you can even use the cache. All of this is available in Azure. Azure is the best destination for all of your data. Now, it all culminates here. It all culminates with Azure Synapse Analytics. We have these disparate data sources. We've enabled our data using all the technologies in Azure, but we centralize them in one single place in the lake. But the beautiful thing about this is, at this point, I can choose. Synapse provides you with the flexibility. I'm a SQL Server person. I've been using SQL Server as long as I've been alive. A lot of people in this new generation go, well, I don't know how to write T-SQL, Patrick. I write Spark. Write Spark. Synapse Analytics not only provides a SQL endpoint, but it also allows you to do Spark. And we know the world is changing. This new generation, they're not writing as much T-SQL as they used to write, but now you have the flexibility right in Synapse. Not only can you do Spark and SQL, but if you have a log-based data, time-based data, trillions of rows of data, or you want to become a data scientist overnight, with just the snap of a finger, you can use Data Explorer. All of this is available in a single pane of glass. But that's not just it. In the exact same pane of glass, we allow data integration tools like Azure Data Factory, where you can extract data, you can pull that data and centralize that data. You can become intimate with your data. You can massage and prep that data and put that data in a single place so that not only can report consumers access that data, but you can span across multiple personas like data scientists and data analysts and information workers. But right in that single pane of glass, right in the studio, you can manage all those artifacts. You can monitor all those artifacts, and you can govern security right in one single place. Now, I want you to think about this. My very good friend Buck Woody and I talked about, we've had a conversation about this going for about 6 months. In fact, he helped me put these slides together when I told him I was doing a keynote. And we've been debating and having heated conversations, not arguments. I won't call them arguments, but we've been having conversations about this intelligent data platform. And I said, well, Buck, if I give people access to all the data, they're going to make bad decisions. He said, Patrick, my new title at Microsoft, I'm a data scientist. And I was like, all right. He goes, and it means with that title, I get to do a lot of research. And he goes, at the beginning, you said that the data was locked up and and the data was knocking on the door, boom, 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 knock, 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 and it wanted to get out. He goes, guess what? If we give people access to the data, what are they going to do? I go, well, I don't know. He goes, they're going to make better decisions. I go, well, the data needs to be clean. He says, well, if you're using Azure Synapse Studio and you're using Purview, you couple those two together, you have a great governance platform. You have a platform where you're cleaning and prepping and providing pristine data. Why wouldn't they make better decisions? And then all of a sudden I heard click, click, click. And I was like, what is that noise? Somebody unlocked the door and they release my data. And I could see all these ones and zeros flying everywhere. And I start reaching up and grabbing these ones and zeros. And I start making better decisions. And I had profit in one place for the logic to calculate profit for my business. And I was like, wait, we're making a lot of money, or we're not making a lot of money. We need to sell more of this. We need to sell more of that. But it was all in one single place, and I could trust my data, and it was clean data, and more ones and zeros were flying everywhere, and I can make better decisions. And then Buck said, this is the slide you should end with, Patrick. This all culminates in one thing: companies who embrace a data-driven culture. Data-driven, that's what Power BI is about. That's what the intelligent platform is about. We want to put data in the hands of people that make better decisions. Anyway, companies who embrace a data-driven culture, and this is all based on research, experience a 4-time improvement in revenue performance and better customer satisfaction. So what this is saying is we need to unlock the doors. We need to centralize our data. We need to clean up our data. Instead of gathering it and harvesting it and locking it behind doors, we need to put it in the hands of the people that can make the right decisions. We need to use the right tools to clean up our data, to make our data available, and we can make better decisions. With that, I would like to say, have a great conference. I'm Patrick LeBlanc. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Patrick. That was, as always, awesome. So with that, I'll release everyone to the actual team so they can actually go to the correct presentations. Hope everyone has a great day, and we'll see y'all later.